MarkJ Y'all. Welcome to Tuesday, Scotch on the Bayou. I'm Leanne, and we're all here together to have some fun tonight and visit with our friends and have some really good whiskey and prep ourselves for the rest of this week. I hope your work environment has been so that you're coasting at this point. Can't say that's been the case with mine. It's been a crazy couple of weeks on work wise, and it's just the highlight to be able to come here and see everyone and say hello and say thanks for joining us. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight because one of my besties is on with me. Let's see who all is in, and we've got a good little crowd. Hey, James, yes, we're gonna be talking about Loch Gorham and among other really cool things. Lots of really great expressions from this distillery. And hey, ahoy, mateys, malt mates, yes. So Chris Everwin was in town, and Mark and I got to go and see him last Thursday night. And we went to one of our favorite restaurants outside of New Orleans. Char grilled oysters, ordered some scotch. Chris got Highland Park 12. I had Oban 14, wanted a little bit more salt, kind of sea spray, and put that on those oysters. And oh my gosh, you talk about good, but was really super to see him. And I'll share a little bit about some of the some of the shenanigans we got into while we were down there. And no, it was a lot of fun. Hey, Mike, good to see you. And Kenny Joe is in, and also Molasses. Yay! Thanks for being here. Yeah, go pour you a dram. Jim's in. Hey, Jim, Mr. Highland Park himself. And we got George in too. Hey, friend, tell Artie hey, and Amy too. And this guy, MarkJ G, is going to be he's not in this house, he's in his house. Before when we did the port, he was actually here in Baton Rouge, but this is my guest tonight, and so we'll bring him in a few for sure. Hey, Martin Whiskey Franco. Oh my goodness, we're doing really good. I'm living vicariously through your hikes. If you don't follow him on Instagram and YouTube, of course, go do that. He took a beautiful walk hike this weekend out in Colorado in the beautiful mountains, and there was snow, which just blows my mind. And that was really sweet for you to share that with everybody, Martin. I really enjoyed that. Hey, Andrew, good to see you. Good morning, friend. And yes, my friend from the great Northwest. Hey, Chad, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. And yes, thanks. Let's bring this up. So my Mark, there's lots of Marks here. My Mark, his birthday was yesterday. So everybody, let's cheers for Mark and another of our guys. It's always in here, Zach Andrews. He'll probably pop in here in a bit if he's not working. And but both of their birthdays were yesterday. So happy birthday, honey. Oh, and look at Kay, Stacy, 4-Leaf Whiskey. Thank you, friend, for being in. It's really awesome to see everybody in the chat. And Sugar Kitty is here. Hey, great to see you. As always, I just love all our peeps here. Trooper, awesome to see you too, friend. I hope you're someplace stable and not in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. But yeah, so I'm super excited. I want to kind of circle back about last week because we did so we had the Deanston comparison, but we also let's see, I needed to do this before that. Hang on. I'm making a big time. Nope, wrong thing. This one. Nope. That. Yep. Nope. This. That. Yeah. Okay. I'll get there in a minute. We had this video come out, the Scarabus video, that Mark Broda, again, another Mark, right? Mark was with us last fall. I thought I lost the footage. Finally got the video out for this Camp Dram. And so it was the Scarabus. It was a non-age statement, independent bottler, Hunter Lang. Also owns Ardnahoe. So we knew that the liquid in it was not, of course, going to be Ardnahoe's because they're not ready yet. So highly Kalila, right? very lightly peated, very approachable. And looking at that, we found that there's two other expressions, and one of which was a 10-year-old. So this is what so when Chris ever went, when we finished dinner, he and Mark and I went over to Total Wine, which is the only place in the States that I know of that you can get this Scarabus. And this is the one that we did. It's the specially selected version. Again, a non-age statement. And they had a 10-year. And so Chris was so sweet. He gifted me this bottle for the 10-year expression. And I really do love the packaging. It's very cool. It reminds me a lot of Compass Box. It's a sharp looking label. So haven't cracked it open yet, but we'll probably do some kind of short or some kind of a quick comparison eventually on those two. So check that video out if you haven't seen it yet. It is a whole lot of fun. Mark Broda and I had a blast doing that. And so just one of many that are coming down. So, but tonight we're talking about a different Islay. And to do that, I want to bring my friend on who, if I'm the Glen Scotia, well, no, I can't even say that because he could quite possibly be a Glen Scotia fanboy as much as he is a Kilchoman fanboy. This is true. And everybody, welcome to the channel tonight. MarkJ G, my friend.
Hello, whiskey folk.
Hey. Well, let me pull back out here so everybody can see that beautiful shirt behind you. Your Slàinté Y'all shirt that your daughter has absconded from time to time.
Yeah, I had to steal it back from her out of her drawer because she has taken it from me. So, and a lot of your stickers too. She's taken a lot of her stickers. She's got your on the back of her cell phone. She has the Scotch on the Bayou little round.
The round one with the
on the back of her phone, like I have the beard. She's got the Scotch on the Bayou down there. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. Well, I got more stickers if you need them. No problem. Goodness. Well, we are talking about Kilchoman tonight. And before we get into it, what's your first dram you're having? Because I'm hemming and hawing over what I think I'm going to start with.
I'm actually having some hand sanitizer.
Oh man, I had that. I forgot. Yeah, they did make hand sanitizer.
Actually, I've started with the Saneg, which is the one of the core ranges that they always have. That's the 30% bourbon, 70% sherry matured Kilchoman, and it's I think I like the Maker Bay better than the Saneg, which is weird because Loch Gorm is one of my favorites, which is all sherry.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I like that one better. But it goes from day to day as to which one is my favorite and what I do. And of course the port Kilchoman that we had together was one of my first favorites of all the Kilchoman that I had, and it just all the samples that we sent out to everybody. When we'd have 4 samples, we had to I always sent a bottle of Kilchoman to people because I was the biggest evangelist there was. I know that we were told not to say anything about Kilchoman in the whiskey tribe because they wanted to keep it for themselves and not get it all allocated because it was such a small distillery. But it was so good. It's so good. And it was really the first Islay that I had that it didn't kill me was Colila. And that I was like, oh, well, maybe if y'all don't know my journey, the very first, my buddy, the first thing he gave me when the first time I ever tried whiskey was Lefroy 10. And to me, it tasted like old nursing home. And I did not have another Islay. Didn't want to have anything to do with it for about 5 years in that Caol Ila. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe I could like it. And then we were at the Cove in Baton Rouge, and they had a cask strength 100% Islay, like a single cat, the red label, 100% Islay. And I had that, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I tasted that dram for 3 days. And I can still I think back, and it still comes to my mind, the taste of that Kilchoman. It was incredible. And of course, going through the whiskey journey, we become whiskey nerds, and I was always loved, organic stuff, farm to table stuff, and that's exactly what Kilchoman is, farm to glass, grain to glass. They do it all. They send their spent grain out to the fields to feed the cows. They have fertilizer from the wash, the spent, and it just was. I mean, that was like, I instantly was like, that's my my distillery.
Right. That's right. Yeah, I want to just kind of run through those core ranges. The MarkJ Bay, the Slàinté, that's what you're having tonight. Loch Gorm, and the 100% Islay is what is basically their core ranges. And Kilchoman they do a really good job at transparency and to show you all the magic behind the curtain.
Yeah.
If you don't follow them on Instagram, well, let me say this. If you're really nerdy and geeky about the process, follow them on Instagram. They will go through a day in the life at Kilchoman, a day in the life of the Stillman, a day in the life in the warehouse, a day and a half, on the malt floor.
Yeah, they have great videos on YouTube, on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can take the whole tour of Kilchoman on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, the early, before the new thing. GCAP, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, if you notice my Loch Gorm, yes, I am one of those people that keeps all the coins. I have 22 coins from Kilchoman.
There's an empty bottle on Mark's desk right now. Like, baby, go pry that off before you throw it away.
Yes, it's very easy. Just a little knife twist. If you got to heat it up a little bit, it comes off.
Pop it right off
pretty quick. And if y'all haven't seen the coins, that's the coin that comes, the fiddly bit, like they say in the tribe.
The fiddly bit. I'll even put, like, when that sticky, like that adhesive magnet material that you can just cut. I'll just cut a ring of that and stick it on back of one and put it as a magnet.
Yeah,
those are fun.
So I know a lot of people use them as golf ball markers and different things like that. So
Chad, friend, we got to help you out. If all that you've really gotten to really get into is MarkJ Bay, we need to help you out there.
Yeah. And that's funny. I really thought there was somebody, and I thought his name was Chad A. in the early days of Roy.
Yeah.
When I was talking to Roy, there was somebody there, and like from Boston, and I thought their name was Chad A. And they had every Kilchoman. We talked all the time about it. And maybe it was I don't know. Maybe I slept and got it wrong, but.
Well, it's definitely a different one, because this one's in Canada, way over that way.
Yeah. Well, but it was weird that I was, I always thought that was the same person. And there actually happened to be a Mark G on Roy's thing, and it drove me nuts. I was like, dude, change your name.
Oh, man. Goodness. So Michael says that he's got some of the MarkJ Bay, and it's a little too young for your taste. It is a little sprightly.
Well, and I like young Pete. One of my favorite Caol Ilas was an 8-year-old Caol Ila. And that's probably why I like Kilchoman so much, is they use a lot of that young non-age statement whiskey to bring it out, and I like that. And it's 50 ppm, the Port Ellen maltings,
Right.
and the 100% Isla is like 20 ppm, 25, something like that. And it's up there with Ardbeg on the, but I just
But the
like
smoke on it is not an Ardbeg. I mean,
it is not, and it's not. I have never had any medicinal notes on Kilchoman. Now there's people that get it, and I'm like, wow, I've never ever have gotten that. And of course, now with Lefroy and all that, I don't get any of that anymore. So it could have been the change in the palate or whatever. But and yeah, Sugar Kitty, I agree. It is so clean, and that's one of the things with their stills is that's what they were going for, was that clean, fruity, easy to drink distillate, and so it to me it's just so different. So and it's a lot like the Port Charlottes. Same kind of smoke, which I really like Port Charlotte as well.
So I have this is what my first dram. Let's see if that'll get in it. This is the Pheno. It's really interesting to see there we go. This is about half gone. This will probably be one of those I will be really sad when it's gone. And then pretty happy that I had it, but it's like, oh, you were such a good friend. But the nose on this, I haven't even have a sip yet, and just the nose, you can just sit here for the next 20 minutes. So Michael has a good question. Are they all NAS? For the most part.
Well, their range is NAS, but there's a lot of private casks that are they have out there. And in fact, so I've kind of been on a no buy for since 2020. Of course, every now and then I have bought, and I bought the Glen Scotia SMWS this week too. But they had in Germany, they had a 15-year-old cask strength Kilchoman, and I got on there and I put 4 in my basket, and I said I'm getting all of those, and they don't ship to the U.S. And so every now and then they will sell an age statement. They had an 8-year-old that they sold for a little bit, and 8's my lucky number. So that's another reason why Kilchoman was big to me, because they were the 8th distillery on Islay. And but yeah, you can find them, but usually it's a private cask. They're usually mostly over in Europe, and all of that. So,
yeah. Hey, EMC. Hey, Emily. Thanks, Pete, for being here. I appreciate it. And Peter brings up a very good point. Happy belated International Whiskey Day. That was yesterday. I should know that because it's always on Mark's birthday. Also, Michael Jackson's birthday, which is why they started that. Michael Jackson, the journalist on whiskey. Gosh. So,
yeah, Jimmy Jazz, it's too bad we can't hook up somehow while we're over there. We're going to be there the same weekend. And if I would have known about that that festival, I probably would have gone there. But I'm in Islay now with all of that. So
are you talking about the Campbelltown? I know I'm woefully behind.
It's Limburg. Is that what it is? Jimmy Jazz put that in there. And I might have to give you that web page to where you can. I don't think it's sold. I think it's just sold from one store. So we'll have. I'll send you that info, and you can look at it. But
yeah. So that's what Mark was talking about, is saving the little metal doohickey on there. Yeah, I do. And I could actually, I just thought about, I used to make jewelry in a former life, and you could like just glue on some backs and I could have some Kilchoman earrings. That'd be kind of cute. I'm gonna walk
You
up
need
there
to
and
do
say,
that for your next
I know
festival and have those on there.
when I could see Anthony Wills. Hey, hi, how's this look? So yeah, I was being able to visit the distillery is fantastic. And when I was there in 2019, they were just about to embark on redoing the visitor center. They were building another still house. They were doing a lot of expansion, and all of that is there now. So,
Yeah,
and
they
even
doubled their
during,
capacity, and it's and a new visitor center.
and
So
that
we're probably
is,
going to.
it's interesting because it's an old farm, and then he bought Rockside Farm next to it. But and this is Anthony Wills, the man. It's a privately owned distillery, and his sons work with him on it. And he's uh, this the where the visitor center is where this actually the stables were of like where where the horses were and where they put, and at the end of it was where the barn was, and they just kept adding to it and adding to it, and it's absolutely beautiful, rolling hills, and just highly recommend. Of course, and you go to Islay, I think it's a must see. My first trip in 2016, I actually was just going through Islay to get to Jura to a music festival, and I had a little time before I had to get the ferry, and I got lost. And I was, kind of going, I was like, well, let me go down this road. I was looking for some standing stones that were on a map, and I was like, whatever. And I saw a couple cars that were parked, and I remember going by this place called Kilchoman, and I remember it saying, farm, farm. What is their logo? It's right there. Isla Farm Distillery. Yeah. And I can remember seeing that sign, little road sign for it, and ended up parking down. And there was this kind of big, hill, and there was a barn up there, and you could see some sheep and a horse in the barn. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I might go walk over there. And this couple came down, and they had been hiking, and they said it's worth the hike up. And I was like, oh, okay. And that's all they told me. So I went up, and not only, I mean, was it pretty, like to see where I would come from once you're stepping around, sheep stuff. There was a World War II battery, a bunker, where they were defending, that built to be able to shoot and watch out for any attacks coming into Islay. And as soon as I crested the hill, I looked over into the sea. I got lost, and I found Montclair Bay. I mean, I just sat there and was like, wow, just wow. And no wonder they named a whiskey after it because it's absolutely gorgeous. And these huge black rocks, and then there's all the sandy beach part, and just it was a blustery kind of day, and the water was angry, and it was just coming in. And I mean, that was before I even really understood what whiskey was, and certainly what it has done to my, being around it has done to my life and the people I've learned and I have now in my life because of it. But man, to be able to go back, that's one of the things I'd like to do, is to go back to that beach with a Kilchoman and just sit there and take it all in and see how everything has kind of gone full circle. That
I'm going to do it.
Pretty cool. So I think everybody's figured out I'm going back to Scotland.
Rob, that Maker Bay cast strength is fantastic.
Yes. Fantastic. If you can find
any cast strength Kilchoman is unbelievable.
So that is a struggle there, George.
I think Roy said that he got that a lot on their 100% Islay when they were first producing, and he really gave up on Kilchoman for a long time. And I even said, hey, I'll send you a bottle of Kilchoman 100% Islay or a teapot dram. And he goes, I want the teapot dram. I mean, it was like do not give me the Kilchoman. And now, since he's changed his mind, because it's kind of aged a little bit, they've gotten a little more mature cask and aged stuff, and he likes it a lot better now.
Yeah. Hey, Shark, thanks for being in. Yeah, I celebrated with some laddie origins. Wow. Yeah. It is.
So I'm switching to the amber.
Okay. And
which,
tell us what that means.
So it means the mess.
The mess.
It was the mess in Gaelic. So that was one of their people who do the cask put it in the wrong cask. And it was supposed to be something different. And so they tried to fix it and make it better. And it is really, really good.
It is.
And it's like a one-time thing that they'll never do again. And it's pretty neat with that. So
hey, Rob, thanks for being here. Yeah, they it was in the vatting of it, right? When they were putting the casks together to do the vatting.
Yeah.
And they didn't quite get
while they were vatting, he accidentally mixed Maker Bay and port matured Kilchoman, causing the general manager to describe the resulting whiskey as amber, which means the mess, and the name stuck. And so then so it's never to be repeated because they don't want to make that mess again. But they finished it in some bourbon barrels for 6 more years, and then 6 months in a ruby port cask to come up with
wow.
So
amazing.
And you had some of this at the Bastards Ball, didn't you?
Yep.
That I opened for everyone.
So
it's the C Amber, just like Aaron Burr.
Amber.
Michael, is that what you're saying? I just like saying it's more fun that way.
And it's perfectly socially acceptable to do that. Oh man. So on the Fino, I get a lot of that kind of white wine. Not like sour grapes, but it's just very light. It's crisp. It's this one's a little ashy on the smoke.
Yeah. This one has a little ash on it too. Very, very fruity, very lemony. Lemon zest, little salty peat along with it.
Hey, Jimmy, good to be here. Thanks for being here, friend. I'm trying to see who else has got some fun knowledge. I saw my friend Kevin's in. Oh goodness. Yeah, James, thanks for all the I might be hitting you up. So I'm planning a trip, and then this guy is planning a trip. And I'm super stoked about 2 trips. 1 trip, 2 trips. 1 trip. So 2 trips between us. But yeah, you're definitely you're going before I am. And I know Daniel was in a few minutes ago. He could only pop in for a bit. He's going to go, I think, in the next week or so. So tell me a little bit about your trip, how you're planning, where you're going, all that fun stuff.
So we're flying into Glasgow for a few days to knock the jet lag. I'm so jet lagged already. I can't come up with jet lag. And so, I said, there's 2 things I want to do in Glasgow. I don't care anything else we do. I want to go to the Pot Still. I want to go to Bonnecourt. It's 2 things I want to do. So that's my main thing. We're going to just be there for a couple of days. And then we're going up to Inverness. And we'll be there in Inverness for a week. Going to head up to the Isle of Skye and, go around all of that. Probably hit a bunch of distilleries because the people that I'm going with are super nerdy right now. And they want to try every whiskey that's ever been made and go to every Yeah, I was there. I mean, that's when I had 120 bottles because I had to have everything. I had to try everything. I had to do it all. I'm down to very few now because of the buying hiatus. But I get to go to Scotland now because of that. I saved all my money. And
That's
where I'm going
amazing. That's
for
great.
that. So we'll probably try to hit up Talisker, probably go to Tamdu, and one other I wanted to go to that's right around Inverness, and I can't think of.
So Clynelish and Glenmorangie are both real close to Matt.
Yeah, I probably need to go to Glenmorangie because for the first 4 years of my Scotch journey, all I drank was the Quinta Reuben. That's all I had. One bottle. I always had one bottle of Quinta Reuben in the house.
It's a good bottle.
Everywhere I went.
Yeah, I want to see those big old stills. I want to.
And
see that.
And that's kind of it's like I wanted to. So I wanted to go to all the places that really hit my journey while we were there, and that would be one of them: the Glenmorangie, Colilla, Kilchoman, and Lefroy and Ardbeg, and all of those. Bruichladdich and Bunnahabhain.
Boone is on my list. Boone is number one.
Yeah. So after Inverness, we're going to go down to Islay for 4 days, and just something that Leanne and I were talking about earlier is if you're going to go to Scotland, schedule your whiskey tours first, and then decide where you're going to stay and how long you're going to stay, because they have different times, different year. Each distillery has, and they're basically the same times, like 10:30 and 2. These are your tours, so you got to choose which ones you go to, and so plan those, and then plan your schedule around what tours you want to do, and get those tours quick and make sure you've got confirmation, because I just found out that I might not get in the warehouse tasting at Lefroy because it's not showing up. So not very happy about that, but we had the perfect schedule at one point, but now it's a little off because of all that. And then we'll go back to Glasgow at the end. I'm gonna go eat at Peter Lee's restaurant.
Oh, cool! And he's a barfly for those that don't know. He's got a great restaurant.
Just to go eat there, and can't. That's I'm looking forward to that just as much as going to some of the distilleries.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's going to be a fabulous trip. And your cohorts, who I've met a couple of, y'all are gonna get into some. Y'all gonna get into it.
Get into a lot of. Hopefully, we'll stay friends at the end of it if we don't get into anything.
It should be good things. It should be really good things, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Man,
we'll be eating a lot of good food and drinking a lot of good whiskey for sure.
That's for sure. The seafood is like crazy, and we know seafood down here, right? But the scallops and the salmon and the fish and chips. I was telling Jennifer one time, I was like, she was like, look at this. I was like, that's a 2x4 of cod. I mean, it was like this big, like this 2x4 of cod, and this fish and chips. I was like, man, that, and perfectly fried to where it wasn't greasy, just amazing.
Yeah, we were thinking about Ball Blair, and some others.
Oh, Rob, do it.
I was going to go 2 years ago with the dummies, but it got canceled because of COVID.
I know, this is our makeup trip too. We were all supposed to be on there. Yeah, I'm going up to Inverness, and I made the audible that if I'm all the way up there, I'm 2 hours and 15 minutes away from Wick. I'm going.
Yeah. Andrew, I got one of my buddies going to Scotland. I told him to go to Milroy's and Melody the other night. He's in London right now. But he was going to go to another one that started with a B, and then he wound up not going. But the Boysdale or something like that, he was looking at going to.
Yeah.
In London. And
so James and Andrew, we're staying in the Kensington area. So that's where we're going to be just for a couple of days. It's really, we're doing a very quick in and out for there.
Nice, Martin.
Hey, Martin. Great to see you.
Choice.
11th edition. Yum.
And somebody really nice got me this while they were at Kilchoman the last time we were there.
Who would that be? I'm nice on occasion. I'm nice on occasion. So I want to play a quick little video. I'm going to put us I think I'm going to put us in the background. Still trying to technically work on this. And the sound may or may not come through, but this is Lyle, and he works at Kilchoman, and he was pulling a dram for all of us when I was there for the Whiskey Academy. So let's see if this will work. And we'll try it. Oh, maybe not. It might need to buffer.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, it's not going to. Dang it. I should have tested that, shouldn't I?
Are you pulling that up on another tab?
On another screen, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. But yeah, so we were able to go through and pull different things. And one of the comments that Anthony Wills made was, sherry's not easy to work with, the sherry cask. I mean, they are pretty temperamental compared to a bourbon matured whiskey. And that was more his wheelhouse, was like the MarkJ and now you're saying it differently. I don't even know which way it is. Is it MarkJ or MarkJ or?
Beats me. I'm just from Louisiana, and I just pronounce it however I want.
But that's a bourbon matured whiskey, right? And that's really kind of where his mainstay and what his favorite profile is.
Yeah.
But
it's 90% bourbon.
Yeah. Okay.
10% sherry.
Matured. Okay, that makes sense, because it's a little sweeter on the front end. But they do an amazing.
Yeah, I think it is much, to me, it's much sweeter, and I've always kind of been a sweet. Mm-hmm. That's why I like the port matured things, because I like sweet whiskeys, that sort of thing.
So I just poured the PX. Speaking of sweet, far sweeter than the Fino, of course. So this is my next dram, which is the PX. Come on. Cask matured, and it's 47.3. So I like how they have it, a little up proof. That one's 47.3. What was the Fino? That's 46. They're not dabbling in no 40% ABV stuff,
It all starts at 46.
Much sweeter. You can definitely tell
it's the Oloroso. 58.3, I think.
I mean, PX. Say that again.
The MarkJ Bay is 58.3 for the cask strength.
Man, I mean, every time I've gone to the Magic Place to get that, also known as Texas, they've never had it. They've just never had it.
It's quick.
I know.
And the only way I had it was Tom Elmer got me some. I've had a lot of people. Malt Minion gave me the STR stuff, so I've been able to try things, because up north Louisiana we get even less than y'all do.
Yeah,
so,
you do, friend.
I never saw the port in Shreveport, and I bought that one in Baton Rouge for you, so it never made it up here. And all I've ever seen, we did have the cask strength, we did have Loch Gorm, but that's the 4 that I've seen here.
But remember, even that first Loch Gorm we had to get overseas. The
2018 Loch Gorm I got overseas because I'm a member of the club Kilchoman. I went and found my card, and I put it right here, and I can't find it anymore. It disappeared. It was sitting right here on Sunday my membership card.
Oops.
It's like your American Express card, but
don't leave home without it. And your SMWS card, you don't need that. You're going to do that.
It hasn't come yet, so I'll have to hope. I'm gonna tell the others to bring theirs.
Yeah.
But they do have my number, however, there, so maybe they won't ask.
They just need your number. So as good as their mainstay is, they do quite a few different finishes and a lot of different fairs. So I've got the Fino and then the PX. You have the Sauternes. That's what you're on now?
No, that I haven't got there yet. The Sauternes that I have is a single cask for the Kilchoman Appreciation Society. That special bottled.
I appreciate
just for them. It was the Facebook group. The Kilchoman Appreciation Society on there. They did their own bottling.
Oh, cool.
And this is 57.9%. Sauternes finished. And I'll be trying it for the first time tonight. I haven't had it yet. Just open it up. Jimmy Leg, just so you know, I open everything because you always say open everything. I do. I open everything and drink it. And I usually have two, one on backup if I'm going to buy something because of that.
So, does anyone have the U.S. small batch release of the Sauternes Bourbon Sherry?
I have not gotten that.
No, I've come close to
the Madeira U.S. small batch ones that are fantastic because of Zach and Daniel H. We all split a bottle of that, and it was fabulous. There was other small batch that I've tried, but not that one with this Sauternes. This is the first, unless the STR I had with Sauternes, this will be the first Sauternes that I've had. I can't remember what the STR one was, but to me, the STR ones is a total different flavor peat than the regular. It's a lot more oaky, a lot more woody, a lot more very different tasting.
You think it's the smoke that's different then?
Yes. Yeah. It's the flavor. I guess the wood changes. The smoke, the peat flavor is different, and maybe that's from the char. I have no idea, but to me, if I would have had that and somebody gave it to me, I would not have been able to say this is a Kilchoman. It was great, but I would not have been able to say it because it's that different because of that.
So Martin's got a couple. I love when you open one of these up, you get, the foil lid. It's just so cool. And you can see the embossing on the back. I want to do some kind of craft project with this. I don't know what. Like, I want to pour wax in it, or I don't know what I want to do. Like, pour some chocolate in it. I guess you could do that, They
do have chocolate molds at the distillery, don't they? Didn't I see that?
Probably.
I'll buy that for you.
When you go over there, you're gonna lose your mind. You're gonna go mine. I want all the bottles.
Oh wow, this is a very different nose than.
So that's the Sauternes?
Yeah, this is the Sauternes.
Okay, so I have the Madeira. Is what this third will be, and it's a brand new bottle. So
yeah, the Madeira Kilchoman is just fantastic, and that's what made Daniel from the Whiskey Tribe fall in love with Kilchoman. Good cork pop.
Oh my gosh, I just got a whiff of it. Whew.
Malt Minion, do you remember what STR you sent me in the sample? And if any of y'all are wondering why I'm wearing the Kilchoman shirt, it's because in the early Whiskey Tribe days, they said, do not talk of Kilchoman. And so they would all say, I've got soy sauce. And so that's why we wear that.
So they were trying to keep Kilchoman on the down low, so they talked about soy sauce instead. Right?
And I was one of the people that was shouting it from the rooftops, you've got to try it. It's so good.
So Small Batch 7 is the STR Bourbon Sherry. Need to revisit that. Quite different from the other Kilchomans. It would make sense because, to adjust that oak that much, as opposed to using a previously used cask and just go ahead and filling it up with spirit, to really take all of that old off, toast it, rechar it, get it all kind of new filtration inside. I get again, they're going to do that to a bourbon barrel. They're highly unlikely they'll ever take a sherry barrel and do that to it. So you're going to get another like punch of vanillins and I think so. I get char a lot on Glen Scotias. Even the Victoriana, that's a heavy char on that one. Yeah, Victoriana, and I just to me when I try an Islay, I try to separate what's peat and what's smoke, and it's like, okay, the peaty earthiness, is it seaweed or is it minerally or is it, all that is it dirt?
Medicinally or
Yeah. Is it iodine? Is it Band-Aid? Is it kind of like lemongrass? I mean, there's some different kind of peats, just like, there's a difference between that peat and Highland Park peat. And then when it comes to smoke, is it campfire, barbecue, ashtray? Just what are the different things you can get on that?
This is very limey, kind of a graham cracker cream kind of smell to it. This is a very different peat smell. And of course, I've already had 2 others, so maybe that's
right.
But it's much subdued.
So Chuck says that it's the X-Red wine cask is what it said. Awesome. Yeah, char is where it's at. I agree, Rob. I mean, and it makes sense because we like a char on a steak. You like to char grill our oil our oysters. Y'all, those oysters were so damn good. And they had garlic and butter and Parmesan cheese and breadcrumbs. And oh gosh, they were so good. And then I took like a sizzle stick type straw that was in the drink because, they're not going to serve whiskey in a Glencairn there. It's just going to be an open rocks glass. And I was taking just like a Blanche trying to get enough. And I would put an oyster actually in a spoon or in the shell because the shells were still pretty hot coming off the grill. And I was pouring that Oban 14 over the top of it. And just that alcohol and the salt and brine and the garlic and the butter and just, oh man, you talk about good. Yum. It wasn't it, Chris? We put a hurting on that food, y'all.
This is fantastic. Fantastic.
Oh man.
It tastes like about a 50% alcohol. I mean, very vicious, creamy, great mouthfeel. It's the peat on it to me smells like what you smell the Vin de Verre the next day when you leave a glass overnight, and it's very subdued and rounded. That's what it smells like to me.
Whiskey Franco, that sounds divine.
Any Glen Scotia? Yeah, I'm gonna be drinking lots of Glen Scotia. I'm gonna be drinking some Belican, whatever Edredor makes with the B.
Yeah, Belican.
I don't know how you pronounce it, but they'll tell me over there, and I just love it. And I can't get it anywhere, so I'll be drinking a lot of that while I'm over there.
James, you and Andrew get a game ball for being up this late, friend.
For sure.
I don't know if it's the accent or just the camaraderie, but we really do appreciate you hanging in there in the wee hours of the moment. That's big Slàinté Y'all for our UK friends for sure. Goodness.
Cheers.
So Chris,
Brady texted me the other morning. It was me. It was afternoon or whatever. He goes, it's 2 a.m. and I'm so awake I can't go to sleep.
Yeah. So mutuals, well, now mutuals, since I was introduced to him. Brady and Donnie's over there too, huh?
No, he won't be going until he's going with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, one of our buddies is over there now, and it is really something. So everyone was saying that Highland Park complimented the oysters nicely, but Oogie, we were lamenting Oogie would have been much better with them. Because
Oogie's better than everything.
So Chris went with a little added smoke, and I was like, I know what these are going to taste like. I want a little bit more brine. Campfire Cookout 93. That's Old Pulteney.
Nope.
No, that's Glen Scotia. 93. That's right.
Yeah, this is what I'm going to have afterwards.
Okay. That's a nice
I'm opening
nightcap.
that. I'm opening that after the rest of these. After I finish these drams. So, it's not George Cap. I'm sorry, it's Whiskey Franco. I thought G Cap was putting that on there, but yeah, I'll. Brady's been hounding me for 3 days, going, "Tell me how it is. Tell me how it is. Tell me how it is."
Because he hasn't had it yet.
Well,
it came in after he left.
In London, and his got there the day after he left.
Well, Jennifer's coming.
I think he's going to SMWS London. Tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
So
Jennifer's coming. She just got that Glen Grant, the lottery one.
I was actually supposed to be there this weekend, but my daughter decided to go with some guy to some formal instead of being presented by her sorority. I wish she would have been presented by her sorority.
Bummer. So Rob says 3 bottles of Glen Scotia along with the Macaire baked cask greens. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, well, I'm actually not going to be in London ever, Andrew. But next time I am, we're calling. For that.
And Andrew, I will definitely talk to you about that. Sounds like James too. We'll definitely talk to you. We're in there for a very short.
Hey, you can go to the concert with Lee.
Yeah, I got a date with Harry Styles at Wembley. Just saying. I'm okay. My husband's okay with it. He's going to be there too. That's more of a bucket list venue than anything. That's for sure. I love it. Terrible at opening bottles. Future problems, I say. Yeah. Okay. That's funny. So Mark got the new join you in the 93 172. Fortune favors the brave. You can't run from that profile. Like some independent bottlers, I think they'll just take spirit. They'll go off and do what they want to with it cask wise. And depending on what they do, I think they'll get away. They may get away from that base spirit that you can pick out that distillery. But the SMWS Glen Scotias are Glen Scotias. I mean,
Glen Scotia is one of the reasons I joined SMWS was to be able to get more than your normal Glen Scotias. I doubt there'll ever be a Kilchoman that they do, or very rarely. If they do that, I'm signing up day one. Those two distilleries, I ought to just tell. My brain doesn't work. Just stick it in the corner and ship them to me whenever you get them.
Yeah, Mike or whoever.
Ben,
yeah.
Tell Ben. Mike. You're never late, Mike.
Never. Thanks for being here. Slàinté friend. So Harry would be Harry Styles, your countryman. And I'm actually, I end up getting to Edinburgh, and the next night I see him in Edinburgh. I go do my whole trip, and then we end up. Oh, nice! Oh, you're already opening it up. So yeah, on Kilchoman, it's they're still since they're still working on it, right? I mean, they're still doing things. They're still very, very young in the whole scheme of things. And I think their core range is getting older as it can. They've got to work with what they've got, you know. And I think they put out a solid product. I have too many of them not to think that.
I used to. That used to be my number one number of bottles, but since it's the one that I like the most, and I drank them all. Now my number one bottle is Iron Root. I have 9 Iron Roots, and I don't think I've even had a dram of Iron Root in a while. I need to drink some more. But I wasn't in the mood for bourbon.
Well, that's not normally my go-to thing, but I am working on taking some things over for some folks. Some of my friends I've gotten to know, and Alistair Dave, the distiller at Isle of Raasay, particularly. I'm definitely bringing. We have. Have you tried any of the JT Malik, the Louisiana whiskey? They've done the vodka. Now, let me just say, I was afeared as to what they were going to be doing with rice and making whiskey, right? Yeah, some of the stuff is actually quite legit. I mean,
is it really?
Yeah.
The first rice distillery went out of business, and I heard the reason it went out of business was.
I'm sure it was probably not wonderful. Our bourbon group has a pick right now that I'm gonna try to actually grab a bottle to take over to them, and everybody is fawning over it left and right. So I think it would be interesting to bring something of Louisiana, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna take some Texas whiskeys, because we have rum, we have Agricole here in Louisiana like crazy. I mean, I could list like 5 different distilleries that do that. But when it comes to a whiskey, it's going to be a completely different grain. There's no malt in it, but what they're able to do with our climate and the maturation, folks are really getting pretty excited about it. For sure.
Well, when I get off my bottle ban, I'll, of course, how many bottles do you think I'll come back with?
So that's interesting, because I've been trying to strategically figure out how we're packing in order to bring things back. And I'll tell you, when I went to Kilchoman, they didn't really have anything spectacular in the sense that I couldn't get it home at the time I went, So I'm pretty much going to be looking for distillery only type things, and also even look at smaller bottles like the 350s.
The bottle your own at the distilleries. I think they do have a distillery exclusive now at Kilchoman, maybe not, but I think I remember reading that. And I am gonna wander by and see if the Teapot Dram is around. I heard rumors that it's mid-April, that they're coming out with number 9. So I will, I will try to get one of those with that.
So funny you would say, Rob. I'm not sure how many between my suitcase and Mark's suitcase we're going to be back. Probably a lot, because I've been on a curtail of buying here because I knew I was going there, right? And my little Scotch group here in town, we're meeting this weekend, and they've already determined that they're going to make a bet and not tell me how many, but they're making a bet at how many bottle pictures I post while I'm on the trip on Instagram. Because they're going to do it over and under, and then whoever wins, the others have to buy them a bottle or something like that. I'm not sure.
Isn't it 4 bottles that you can bring back?
I think it's more than that. I think we need to make sure we know, but I think it's like a liter amount. And look at that. But no, I brought 4. I brought 4 home the last trip. So I'm going to be pretty selective about it. I want more. I'm going more for the experience, you know?
This says 5 liters.
So that's 6 bottles, right?
It's a little more than.
So if there's 70 CLs.
Yeah.
So that's 5,000. Let's say 100. A liter is 1,000. See, we don't work in those. We work in.
Yeah, we don't.
We work in that other thing. So Martin last May brought home 15. You declared them all, and you didn't have to pay any tax. I think I want to say, yeah. I mean, I know. Never had issues. Brought 12 bottles every time. I just say,
says, 6 to 7 bottles.
What?
Legally, 6 to 7 bottles.
Yeah, there we go. Andrew,
but
Andrew always knows.
I was listening to somebody say they brought back they brought back 12, and the guy was like he walked up and he's like, "Do you have anything to declare?" And he says, "Yeah, I've got some whiskey." He says, "You don't have anything to declare." And the guy was like, "No, I have some whiskey." He said, "Sir, you don't have anything to declare."
I declare.
And he's like, oh, I don't have anything to declare. So,
yeah.
You know.
No. Now, Canada didn't get off as easy. God love them. Chad has, and I know he's planning a trip this summer. Couple of allowances will be 15 maybe. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, Whiskey Mystery brought back like 20 something. Goodness. Are you eating strawberry cake?
Pie.
The strawberry pie from Ambrosia?
No, this is from Strawn's in Shreveport. So
I thought your daughter brought me one up there. So the first time I met Mark, I'd met him through Dummies and Aquavite chat, and I knew he lived in Louisiana. He was going to be in town for work, and he came over, and I was like, "Well, my Mark will make steaks because that's what he does. He cooks really good steak." Y'all, he cooked steak for his own birthday last night. I made him a cake, but he cooked his own dinner. How sad is that? But it was really good. And anyway, so this Mark comes over, and like the good Southern gentleman he was raised to be, he not only brought dessert, which was a strawberry cake with fresh whipped cream icing, fresh sliced strawberries, and a white cake from this bakery that's out of sight here in town. But he also brought the Kilchoman port cask at batch strength 50%. And the combination is still like one of my very favorite pairings ever, with that port cask sweet smoke and the rich cream oiliness from the cream whip top. You know, don't think whip topping as in Cool Whip. Think heavy cream whipped to hell and back. With fresh strawberries cut. So you had the tartness from the fresh strawberries and the sweetness from the cake, and it all just went. It was amazing. Amazing.
The Sauternes goes best with the pie, but it's not. None of them are anywhere close to the port with that cake. That was just so incredible.
And just 2 weeks ago, I was at a crawfish boil at this company, and they had one of those big cakes, and I had to send him a picture of it and said, "Thinking of you, where's the pork cask? Where's the Kilchoman?" Mm,
I bet that was good whiskey, Franco.
mm. He brought an empty wine suitcase that held 8 and packed light in a hard shell. Kitten shaped bottles. Yep. And yeah, so you'd have a couple for duty free. That's another good point. The Italian cream cake with Glen Scotia. Yeah. And I don't know what it is about the smoke. So we had that 15-year Black Adder Lechik that's just yum and smoke, and had bacon with it. And it was the combination of the grease and the smoke. It was very, very nice. Man, can you imagine? I think we're all going to be doing some damage in Scotland in a good way, in a really good way. Oh, how's that? So you haven't opened the Glen Scotia, huh? You're still in the Sauternes? You just poured it, you dog. I feel like I need to go get a Glen Scotia now.
I'll let you.
I don't know what I want. Actually, I'm going to have some of this Loch Gorm.
Yeah. So Loch Gorm is probably the one I've had the most of.
So this is the 2021 version.
I just love Loch Gorm.
Yeah. And that's the water source is literally Loch Gorm right next to it. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go.
How many times have you texted me and said, "Hey, what are you drinking?" And my reply was Loch Gorm.
Loch Gorm. I could probably take bets on that by now. Yeah.
Yeah. Zach's always like, a big surprise.
If it isn't Glen Scotia 15, it's Loch Gorm from Kilchoman.
Yeah.
That's funny. So the Sauternes mic that he had was the Kilchoman, but it was the friend pick off of the Facebook group.
The Kilchoman Appreciation Society on Facebook.
Is that Bottle and Bond? Is that what BIB is?
I can't remember what it stands for on that. But it's not Bottle and Bond. It's
no, I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Can you imagine getting all the Camp Drammers over into Scotland? Wow. The West Highland Way. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll walk with you till Glengoyne and I'll stop there. How about that?
I think we'd stumble too much. It would take 6 years to go that far. Bourbon Influence Batch.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you. I couldn't remember what it was. I was like,
it's not. You didn't do no Bottle and Bond. Okay.
So I'm not getting any funk. Just a light peat smoke.
Oh my goodness. So I find the Loch Gorm is just really balanced, So it's that's the PX. Do they change the maturation from?
Yes.
From
every
each
batch
year,
is
right?
A little different.
Yeah. Look at that.
I think the latest one is like the least years is 8 on it.
Yeah. So what are the prices in the Kilchoman going for these days? Seem pricey to recall NA Young stuff. I think too, and Mark just brings up a point on that though, Chris, is it's NAS, but I find that they do a varying differences of years of maturation. So you're going to have older stuff in there. Yes, it's predominantly going to be a 6 to probably 8 year that nowadays. I think like back in 18 and 19, it was a 5 to 7 year kind of roll. And now we're probably working to 6 to 8s and something like that. But they're going to put older stuff in it to round it out where they need to. But I mean, most of these are hovering around 100 or so. When you say 120, Mark?
I haven't ever paid that much in the U.S. Now, the ones that I got shipped over, which I was doing that all from 2017, all the club releases, I was getting all that because I couldn't get it. I couldn't get anything in Louisiana, and those were all, 120, 140, and then you'd have to get them shipped.
Yeah, so you're looking like Loch Gorham is probably about 100, but the others are going to be like Seneg is like about 60, 65, 70, 75.
Yeah, 50 to
Moncure Bay is
70
going to be
and
60.
Yeah, it's 50 to 70 for the usually around 50 for the Maker Bay, maybe 60.
Yeah.
The Sanig is a little more. It's usually about $8 more than whatever you're finding the Maker Bay, Macker Bay, whatever it is. And then the Loch Gorham is usually about 100. And the Amber was 110, if I'm not mistaken. I bought 3 of those, so I'm not real sure. I don't, and it was been a while since I bought those. That was 3 years ago.
So, and the other thing is like, so I got the Pheno and the PX. I got at Specs in Houston, and those, they have pretty good prices because of the bulk buy that they do. And they have a good relationship with Kilchoman because they'll have single casks from them.
And those small batch, all those small batch US goes to Specs and Total Wine.
Yeah. Not our Total Wines, but somebody else's, that's for sure.
Houston. That's why Zach is such a good friend.
we do like Zach for more than just his ability
Zach
to go
is
buy
our
his
warehouse. he holds all of our whiskey.
He doesn't charge us rent on it, so that's nice too.
Yeah.
I mean, he held some of it for a year and a half, thanks to the world being weird. But it's like these. I know these the Pheno and the PX were about 120, but they're also sherry, so they're gonna that cask just costs that much, it really does add up to it. So
and they get theirs from that one Spanish bodega.
Yep.
Place the
in Jerez.
Bodega Miguel Martin.
There you go. I was looking to see if I could find
this Glencoe is great.
So the 2021 Loch Gorham that I have is all Oloroso.
All of them are all Oloroso, aren't they? The Loch Gorham.
That's what I was wondering, if they kind of mixed it around.
No, I think it's just 100% Oloroso for all the Loch Gorhams, which is why I thought it was funny that I like the Maker Bay better than the Sanig. But I think it's all sherry, all Oloroso.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad for their. Yeah, Chris, it is. I mean, if you kind of look at, but also if I look at it as I know what I'm going to get with a Kilchoman, and if that's my jam, it's definitely this guy's jam. Then you're going to be a fanboy. You're gonna they know you're going to pay for it. Interesting. Yeah, it is. And I think once they get up there a little bit, they might. You don't think? You think they're going to?
No, I think I've heard him say that they're gonna stick with this. They're not going to do age statements on core. They will come up with special things, but I don't think that it's going to become a core thing. But who knows? Now that they've upped production, and if they up production again, they they were worrying that they were going to have to start allocating all their
Yeah.
bottles because they couldn't keep up with the demand, and that's why they doubled production. And they just copied the distillery that they already had, just made a clone of it. And I think it's neat that they have a certain pipes that the 100% Islay only go through, and then all the other ones go. The Port Ellen ones go through all the other areas and all that kind of stuff. So
that's good.
Martin says they told him on the tour that they're going to avoid core range age statements, which I thought I remembered that too. Thanks.
Well,
Martin.
it's a slippery slope though, right? So once you start there, people are going to actually expect it, I think. So that's interesting. But I could listen to Anthony Wills talk all day.
Do you not have that picture of him and you?
I do, but I thought that was a little pretentious.
Are you not going to show that? Will you be pretentious?
In my ever-present green jacket. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Was he there when you were doing the peat too? Or is that he wasn't there then, huh?
Is that what?
When you were cutting the peat?
No, it wasn't when I cut the peat, but I stole peat from Kilchoman and brought it home. Talk about going through customs, like dun, bringing some of your dirt back. Isn't
that flammable? You can't have that on the plane.
I carried it on. It was all good. It was all good. Where's my picture with him? It's got to be here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Let's see.
Did you buy some of this Glen Scotia, Leanne?
No, I did not.
It's great. I'll bring you some. I don't know where my all my sample bottles are. I got to find where they are in some closet somewhere, and I don't have a whiskey room anymore. It's now a guest bedroom, so I'm just shoved in a corner over here, unlike I used to be.
Okay, so here's my picture with Anthony Wills. I was just so happy. I can't go back to Scotland in this green jacket, though. I've got 2 years of pictures in this green jacket. I've got to find.
You'll know what year it is by what jacket.
I know, right? All right, and that that holder of I carry that everywhere. Every festival I go, I carry that. It's just.
I wish I would have had one of those at the last ball.
Yeah, it's nice. Definitely so. I am so excited for your trip. You're gonna leave your
Whiskey
mind.
Franco, it's good. You'll like that. If you grab the 93, it'll save on shipping.
They do have 10 left. Dang.
There's 9 now because he just went and bought one.
I know. Usually that's an auto buy for me.
I like this. I know you like the Victoriana a lot. This is 10 times better than the Victoriana. Hey Ben, it's great seeing you.
Hey man.
This I don't find that. Of course, this is the neck pour. To me, the Glen Scotia's the flavor changes so much throughout. And to me, this is more two hills instead of 8. But this is the neck pour. Usually, when you get down to about halfway, it really starts to change. And that's what I like about Glen Scotia. Sorry, we're on. I'll stop. We're on Kilchoman.
That's okay. We've talked about Kilchoman we're already 20 minutes over our normal time. Yeah. It's okay, and people are still here. I think we're all having fun.
Yeah, and that's what I like about the 15 so much. You have four drams, and all 4 of them are different. And halfway through each dram, it's different. And I mean, that's what I like about it so much. So
it is. I mean, I like. Some things I'm very good at taking notes and being very studious about. And I wish I was disciplined enough to document every dram I have out of a bottle to see the progression. It's just not there.
So I'm a thinker by nature. And so a lot of times when I'm drinking, I just want to taste.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to think about all the different flavors. I just want the wows. I want the explosions, the peppers to come, and you have this come here and then this, and then it goes down. And so that's what that journey to me is better than this tastes like, I'm sitting on Lake Bistineau and a catfish jumps up on the dock that has moss on it and that sort of thing.
And the summer breeze goes across the river.
And somebody is cooking s'mores on the deck, and the smoke wafts over, that sort of thing. But I do enjoy. There are times when I do enjoy that, but all that. So no, we might stay here all night, Ben. We need since we're drinking. We'll just hang out and drink.
We were definitely talking about Kilchoman earlier.
Yes.
This is my 4th dram of Kilchoman, so we're approaching adorable.
And I've had 2 cask drinks now, so.
Yeah. So Rob, I don't know if you've seen Finish with a
What's
Dram.
your favorite,
That's a hell of a dram to finish with. I did a video comparing batch 1 and batch 2 with those Victorianas, and I mean, I love them both, but batch 1's my bae. Just love it. It's so good. Mike says he's got a couple of Glen Scotias, but have this problem of too many whiskeys on the shelf, not so many bottles. I haven't tried it yet. I know. That's why I made myself open this Madeira tonight. Because you gotta.
Yeah. And that's why I opened this one-time bottle of the Kilchoman Appreciation.
That's a one and done.
Drink it with, and the Amber one and done. I've got two unicorns that aren't ever going to be made again, and it's just kind of good.
What's the other one?
What the other
unicorn?
Cask strength? Oh, the Amber and the
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Both unicorns, because you'll never have either of those again.
Right, in any form, they won't be there.
I'm sorry, Ralphie. I don't hardly ever add water. I know he always says we need to, but if to me, if it is if it's spiky, with that alcohol spike, that's when I put some water in it, like this. Which one was it? So I think
looking like trying to see what you got on the shelf.
I think this little bottle here, I think I actually added water to that. It was 60.2, and I was like, that's a bit. That's a lot of water, but I mean that's a lot of alcohol taste. But this one is cooking in a hothouse 95.42, 65.2. I didn't add a single drop of water to this, because this was a straight up Werther's original candy.
Wow.
That is what it that is the flavor, that is the smell. It's cafe au lait coffee. With that coffee and kind of a creme brulee type thing. And so I didn't add any, but the other one, I was like, all I'm getting on this is just spiky alcohol, and so I put water in that, and the flavors did come out. But if it's if I don't get those, if it tastes like a 40 to me, which because I do drink a lot of cask strength now, that if it doesn't feel very alcohol-y, I don't ever add water. But I do. If I'm trying to get notes, I do the add water that way.
Okay.
You put the whiskey in, and then you take some water to bring the alcohol down
Is
a
that a
lot.
Tony Chachere's cup?
Yes, ma'am.
We're a Slap Your Mama house. For those who don't know, those are competing brands of Creole Cajun seasoning.
We actually have a local mission that makes one, and we use that one more.
Oh, that's good.
It's a church group that they sell it for mission.
Oh, that's cool.
Stuff. Yeah, I don't think it needs any water at all, Rob. I agree with that.
This Loch Gorm is super easy to drink. Like
it's 50%, isn't it?
It's 46, but
Loch Gorm is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is 46, yeah. It's the 100% Islay that's usually 50, yeah.
Yep. Chris, everyone, thanks so much. Thanks so much for this past week, man. That was so much fun. Thursday. I really appreciate it. Have a good one.
I don't know whose technique that is, Andrew, but I learned it from Whiskey Mystery.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, we can.
And I think John Campbell talked about that at a Lefroy tasting, and that I had in Austin. He was talking about he goes, this is what we do, and he talked about bringing it way down by bringing the water right into to drink it, and so I've kind of done it that way just to get some more notes.
Huh. Interesting. Speaking of Lockley, where he is now available in Louisiana. Yes, there are bottles in Baton Rouge, and they have my name on them.
Too bad. If Daniel was here, he could tell me if it's up here. He knows where everything is. I was in church one Sunday, and he texts me and he says, "This store has the Game of Thrones bottles on sale for 90% off." I was like, "Thanks. You could have waited a little bit."
You're a little busy there on Sunday.
That's where I got that bottle for you, Lee. Was that day I went and
that was awesome.
They were $12.
Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. Really is.
Did you buy any Lockley?
Yeah, I'm getting them. It's
you haven't got any
Harvest yet? and our barley, those two. So, yeah, they're coming in around, I think, $68-$70 a piece, which, this day and age is just gonna be that way, Mike,
and all the tax and
they're just they're super young still. But John Campbell from Lefroy moved over to the mainland. I think his family, his kids were getting older and having kids, and he wanted to kind of be more around family. So Islay is, it's only a 30-minute plane ride, but in many ways it's a world away. It's 2.5-hour ferry. Are y'all taking the ferry? Y'all flying over?
Ferry.
Yeah.
I wanted that experience of pulling up past the distilleries and
you'll see the maltings, that ugly building. Everybody curses. Yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be awesome. Well, man, I really do appreciate you being on. I knew when I was going through I like doing these little spotlights. We've done Brookline, we've done Glengoyne, now we've done Kilchoman, and I've been to all of those, and I was telling Mark I hope to have a little bit more show and tell kind of from this one. But even going back and looking at the pictures that I took, they weren't really that awesome. So needless to say, this next trip that I take in May and June, the fall is going to be fabulous on the channel. We're going to do some really in-depth stuff. I've been trying to figure out how to, you were talking about booking tours and doing that your first straight out. I'm working logistics at Glen Scotia right now. And I was hoping to do the Distillers Managers Tour, but the way my days are falling and being able to get off of the Isle of Mull down to Campbelltown in time is not working. But I am going to get to meet Ian McAllister. So I'm like beyond stoked about that. So I'll do their Dunnage House tour, and then I'll be able to visit with him with a little one-on-one time. and I am unabashedly unapologetic. I will turn the Southern Charm on to 11 if I
And
have
she's going to come
to,
home with 20 bottles that he'll give her.
and just say, Ian, bruh, my buddy, let me tell you a little bit about Louisiana. I'll bring him some jambalaya mix, and we'll see what happens. It'll be
You
fun.
do need to put some of that in your bag and bring that.
I have I'm actually, we were talking about the seasoning, but I'm trying to get the small little slap your mamas to take over, and for the places I'm staying, just to kind of leave a little spice behind,
Yeah.
It's interesting.
George, that's the first Loch Gorm I had was the 2017.
Oh wow. So actually Andrew said he's doing the full Lockley range with John in May. Oh, what a treat.
He does such great tastings. That's going to be phenomenal. We've got to watch that for sure.
Yeah, and if y'all didn't see his B pub with Roy a couple of weeks ago, like probably about a month now, go back and watch that. He's just an interesting. He's so interesting. I mean, his whole trek and his whole trajectory at Lefroy is amazing. And he's very soft spoken, but he's got a nice dry wit too, that you just like, oh, I caught that, and he just a lovely man, just absolutely lovely. And he knows how to make some whiskey. So I'm super excited for all of what Lockley's doing, and getting that together.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the highlight of my whiskey tasting experience was at that tasting, and I think we were tasting the 25 Lefroy. I'm not remember which one it was exactly. Might have been quarter cast. Who knows? We had 5, but I was sipping, and I was sitting with all these whiskey geeks, and I'm like, I'm getting a lot of pineapple here. And John, right after I said that, John goes, "You're probably getting a lot of tropical fruits, pineapples," and I'm like,
don't you love it when you get validated? It's like,
yeah. I was like, that is the coolest thing ever.
That's awesome. Yeah, jambalaya and Lagavulin sensory experience, it could go really wonderfully or very bad. Actually, I would think it would be pretty good because you're probably going to use some smoked sausage in there, and that would counterbalance, just like really kind of pull it all together. Actually, I may put some Lagavulin in my next jambalaya and see what, instead of liquid smoke, could do it.
I think that would be a good choice.
It would be great. Friend, we could go all night.
We could. Well, we do whenever we hang out. We're like, all right,
we tend to do this. Y'all, this is just like if we're sitting at the table. I promise you.
It really is. Yeah.
It really is. Except we got all y'all on multiple continents and countries along for the ride. But so yeah. So yeah, good stuff. Planning, trying to get down. We're gonna so if you remember last year we did a blind. I did a blind with Gregor, Time for a Dram, based on his trip that he took last May. So we're flipping the channel on that, and he's going to be doing a blind based on my trip. So that's coming up. That's coming up in a few weeks. And our other friend that we have, Zach, Peter was talking about this earlier, American Single Malts. Peter has got me in touch with Whiskey Delback, which I'm super excited because that's one of the bottles Jennifer's bringing over this week for me. But so Zach and I are going to go through and talk about Balcones single malts, American single malts. So that's coming up in probably about 3 weeks, end of April on that. And a lot of fun stuff in between. Yeah, you'll be back by then, I think. Right back. You may still be hungover from your jet lag, but it'll be there.
If it's that third week, I'll be on the plane at that time.
It's the last Tuesday. So I think you're back. Maybe. We'll see. It would be a big ass table, molasses, and that's okay. We'll get everybody on it for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna miss
sure.
it.
Oh man. Well,
Maybe I'll watch on the plane.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you want to pay that only if you get free Wi-Fi. And if you do, you have to take a picture and send it to me. Oh my gosh, that'd be so cool. I'm watching Scotch on the Bayou at 30,000 miles over the Atlantic.
Yeah.
As if.
Well, I will be sending you tons of pictures.
I'm so excited.
There, so.
Yeah, you'll have to do that.
Cheers, Chad. Great seeing you, buddy.
Man, y'all, thanks so much. I really do appreciate it. Yeah. Mark, you'll love this. It's gonna be interesting. He's given me so many samples, and we're gonna finally go through them and talk about that, about Diageo buying them.
Huge Balcones fan. So.
Yeah, so I think you and Zach could do the Battle of the Fanboy for Balcones. Everybody who knows Zach knows he loves it, absolutely loves it. But yeah, friend, thank you so much. I have just a wee bit left of my Loch Gorm. It looks like you're heading in on your Glen Scotia. But I want to thank everybody for being in and being a part of this. We're growing a great little community here, and I really love it. More Camp Drams to come. Jennifer and I are going to be shooting video all weekend, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that because we get into so much trouble, the good kind of trouble. But thanks, everybody. Mark, thank you so much. All my friends, all you folks out there, have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next Tuesday. And of course, Slàinté Y'all.